Hello my dear students, welcome back to the 9th standard social classes. Dear student, today we are going to deal with the new concept, that is the state government. So this is the third lesson of 9th standard political science division. Today in this class we are going to deal with the another concept, that is the state council of minister. What is that? The State Council of Ministers. The State Council of Ministers. The State Council of Ministers. My dear pupil, before going to know the State Council of Ministers, let us glance once again what we discussed in the last class about the previous aspects in the lesson, the state government. See, in the last class we came across a few important things, that is the powers and functions of legislative council and the governor, the state executive, the governor, appointment of the governor, qualification of the governor. Along with that, powers and functions of governor in the state. I hope that you understood very well how the governor is being elected in our country and how the governor exercises his duty in his respective state. So these are the important aspects that I discussed in the last class. My dear pupil, in this class, let us know the State Council of Ministers. In the last class, we were discussing about that. The governor in the state can be compared to the president in the center. The chief minister in the state can be compared to the prime minister in the central. The Council of Ministers can be compared to the Council of Ministers in the Parliament or in the Union. Meanwhile, the real power of the state is vested in the Council of Ministers of the state. The real power of the country is vested in the Council of Ministers in central government. Isn't it? Though the president is having the power, though the president is the constitutional head, but the real power exercises by the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister in the Union. Whereas in the state, though the governor in the state is having or is calling the constitutional head of the state or the real head of the state executive, but the real power is exercised through the Council of Ministers in the state. Dear pupil, our constitution provides for a council of ministers with a chief minister as its head. So, who will be the head of the council of ministers in the state? Yes, who is that? The chief minister. The chief minister will always be the head of a council of ministers in the state. Whereas, who will be the head of the council of ministers in the union? Yes, in the union there will be, yes, PM. PM will always be the head of a council of ministers in the union government. PM refers Prime Minister. I hope that you are very familiar with the name of a present Prime Minister of our country, as well as You are also very familiar with the present Chief Minister of Karnataka State. Got it? Yes. Sri B.S. Yediyurappa is the present Chief Minister of Karnataka State. Whereas in the Union, the Prime Minister is none other than Sri Narendra Damodar Das Modi. Okay, let us know, even though our Constitution has provided to creation of a Council of Ministers with the Chief Minister as its head. This Council of Ministers assist the Governor in the matter of administration of the whole state. And also, the Council of Ministers is responsible to the whole legislative assembly in the state legislature or Vidhana Sabha. Got it? Here, the Council of Ministers will always be the responsible for the legislative assembly in the state. Got it? Whenever the ministers are asked any questions by the member of legislative assembly, the answer must be given by the ministers to the assembly. So hence this Council of Ministers will always be the responsible for the whole legislative assembly in the state. And the State Council of Ministers has its own dimensions. See, the council has many functions. The Council of Ministers executes many functions. So, what functions can be executed by Council of Ministers, especially in the state? My dear student, as I told, Council of Ministers in the state will always having the greater power in the state. All important issues or matters will be taken by the Council of Ministers, which is headed by the Chief Ministers. It has its own functions. See what functions? Let us see. First one is it decides the government policies. Very important, my dear students. It always takes care the welfare of the entire state. Which one? Yes, the Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers always takes care of the welfare of the entire country. So hence, by keeping in its mind the welfare of our state, it decides many policies or frame important laws which will be helpful for the development of the whole state. So, the main function of the Council of Ministers is to frame the laws or to frame some policies which always will be help to the state. It creates. And then the second thing is it prepares the state budget. Yes, dear students, the very important function of State Council of Ministers is prepares the budget to the whole state, and also it considers the profits and losses of the whole state, and by preparing this budget or financial bill, so that it presents in the legislature. It presents in the legislature. Usually, who presents the financial bill or budget in the legislature? Yes, who is that? Yes, the present finance minister will always be the person who presents the finance or financial bill or budget in the legislature. Then it advises. So next one very important function is it advises the governor in the matter of appointment of the chairman of State Public Service Commission. Yes, very important. The Council of Ministers of the state gives suggestions to the governor in the matter of appointment of the chairman or the president of state public service commission in the state, and the Council of Ministers also advises to the governor to appoint the various members of the Public Service Commission of the Karnataka state. And it also, which means the Council of Ministers also advises to the governor to appoint a Lokayukta in the state. Along with that, it advises to the governor to appoint various highest posts or higher posts in the state, especially in the matter of appointment of vice chancellors to the all universities of the Karnataka, and then auditor general, comptroller general, and many important posts will be appointed by the governor only on the recommendation of Council of Ministers of the state. But so these are the very important functions of Council of Ministers of the state. And along with that, each member of Council of Ministers, each member has to ensure the efficient working of his department. Suppose, dear students, you suppose take an example of education department. Example of education department. But it will be, see, who will be the head of education department in the country, in the state? Yes, the education minister. Education minister will be the head of education department to the whole state. The student, what happens here? See, each minister has to ensure the efficient working of his department. Suppose if we take an example of education department, see, who will be the responsible for the whole development of the department? Who will be the responsible? Yes, the education minister will be the responsible for the whole development or success or any failure of the department. Yes, who will be responsible? Education minister. So, being the head of the department, whatever department it may be, or whoever the chief of the department, he should always ready to ensure efficient working nature to the complete department. He always struggle a lot. He always works in a particular manner, in a particular way, without any prejudice. He should work to the development of the whole department, isn't it? So, the chief of any department will always be the responsible for the development of a whole department. So, he should maintain, the chief of the department should maintain some efficient working nature. Got it? See, any development or any failure, any success or any failure will always depending upon the way how the chief of the department keeps that. Got it? So then these are the functions of Council of Ministers. Then it also to coordinate the Council of Ministers, coordinates and supervises the working of different departments. The Council of Ministers is also having the power to coordinate or to supervise the various departments. So these are the some important functions of State Council of Ministers. So finally, what we can say that, dear students, the Council of Ministers in the state will always be the supreme power will always be the supreme place in the supreme power of the state. See, whatever issues, whatever very important high level decisions will be taken by the Council of Ministers. Got it? So this is very important. And this Council of Ministers will always be headed by the Chief Minister of the state. And now this is about the functions of Council of Ministers. And the next thing is very important thing of the state is Chief Minister. Who is that? The Chief Minister. Chief Minister. Chief Minister. Let us see. Yes, I told you earlier who is the present Chief Minister of Karnataka state. Yes, very good. Honorable V.S. Yediyurappa is the present Chief Minister of the state. Very good. See, let us see how the Chief Ministers plays a very important role in the development of whole state. My dear students, the success or failure of the state will always be on the way of how the Chief Minister takes a decision. It will be depending upon the capacity of the Chief Minister. Got it? The Chief Minister is the head of the state government. So whereas the governor is the head of the state executive and head of the constitution in the state, but whereas the Chief Minister is always be the head of the state government in the state. See, all the state activities will be carried on the head of Chief Ministers. Got it? Then, success or failure of the state government depends on his personality. Yes, the success, any success or any failure of the whole state is depending upon the personality of the Chief Minister. So that is why the personality of the Chief Minister will always be clear, because the personality of the Chief Ministers will play a very important role in the matter of development of the state. So that is very important. He is the head of the Council of Ministers. As I told, when we were discussing about the Council of Ministers function, I told you that the Chief Minister of the state will always be the head of a State Council of Ministers and also the legislature. The Chief Minister will always be the head of the state legislature and the leader of the majority party in the government. Very good. The Chief Minister is not only head of the Council of Ministers, not only head of the legislature, but also the leader of the majority party in the government. So these are the responsibilities of the Chief Minister. Then the Chief Minister should be a member of any one of the two houses. See, this whole time when we were discussing about two houses, state legislature. See, let us see the state legislature. See, when we were discussing about the state legislature, it has two houses. One is Legislative Assembly. Legislative Assembly. Legislative Assembly, which is also called as the Vidhana Sabha. Got it? And the other house in the state is Legislative Council. Legislative Council, which is also called as the Vidhana Parishad. These are the two houses that are existed in the state legislature of Karnataka. Got it? So what I am going to say is, see, the Chief Minister may be a member of any two houses of the state legislature. He will be the member of legislative assembly or as member of legislative council. Got it? Right? See, the chief minister should be a member of any one of the two houses of the state legislature, or the houses of our Karnataka. Then, even those who are not members, this is a very important point, even those who are not members of either houses can become the chief minister. A person who is not member of legislative assembly or legislative council can be a member of, can be the chief minister of the state. Dear student, a person can be the chief minister of the state who is not even a member of assembly or council. Got it? Then, however, he has to become the member of any one house within 6 months. But within 6 months, he will be the member of any one houses, either assembly or council. So this is about the chief minister of Karnataka state. Dear student, I would like to ask two questions now. Who was the first chief minister of Karnataka state? See, when we were discussing about Karnataka state, we came to know that Karnataka or Mysore state came to exist in 1953. Sorry, 1953. But yes, who was the chief minister in that time? Who is that? Very good. In that time, the first chief minister of Karnataka state is Kengal Hanumantayya. Got it? And then the chief minister in the time of 1956. Who is that? Very good. Yes, Nijalingappa. Yes, Nijalingappa. In the time of 1973, who was the chief minister? Devraj Arasu was the chief minister at that time. Got it? See, now at present time, who is the chief minister? B.S. is the chief minister. Let us see the functions and powers of the chief minister of our state. Let us see. Powers and functions of chief minister of Karnataka state. Functions. Powers of chief minister. Functions and powers of chief minister. See, there are many functions and powers of chief minister which he executes in his administration. First thing is, he prepares the list of ministers. See, as soon as the general election is done and is completed, since he is chosen as the head of the majority party, when he is called by the governor, before he visits to the governor office Raj Bhavan, he prepares some list of members and send it to the governor for the approval. Got it? He prepares the list of ministers and send it to the governor for the approval. Got it? Then, very important function of the chief minister is, as I told dear student earlier, all the success or failure is completely depending upon the personality of the chief minister in the state. It is very important. So, very important function is that he allocates portfolios or departments to the ministers. The chief minister's very important function is, one of the very important functions is, he allocates the portfolios to the ministers. He can also change the portfolios allotted to the ministers. See, such a power that the chief minister is having in our state. He is having the power to allocate the portfolios and to change the portfolio or to remove the portfolios, like that. And the very next thing is, he has the power to remove those ministers who are not loyal to the government. See, as I told, chief minister is having the power to remove the minister from the cabinet who is not loyal to the government or the constitution. Act against the council of ministers or have criminal record. But so this is very important functions of the chief ministers. Along with that, the chief minister is having the power as the head of the government. As head of the government, he plays a very decisive role. He plays a very important role. He plays a very ample role in the formulation of policies to the whole nation. Dear student, the chief ministers play a very important role in the formation of policies or laws or functions to the whole state. So he plays very decisive role in the matter of policies, creation of policies to the nation, to the state. Then, as the head of the cabinet, yes, as I told, chief minister will always be the head of the cabinet, head of the council of ministers, head of the government. As the head of the cabinet, he can summon or postpone its meetings. Being the head of the cabinet meeting, the chief minister is having the power to summon to the meeting or to postpone the meetings of the cabinet. Got it? So very important decisions will be taken in the cabinet meeting, which is headed by the chief minister. He can summon or change or postpone the meetings, that is council, that is high level cabinet meeting. Then he has the power, the chief minister of the state has the power to ordinate or have the power to coordinate and supervise the working of all the departments. Dear students, being the head of the cabinet or being the head of the government, the chief minister is having the power to coordinate all the departments and to suggest all the departments as well as to supervise all the department, so that he can advise, he can change some important issues in the department, in any department, and he can also supervise the whole department. So this is the working nature, especially the functions or powers of the chief ministers. In the Karnataka state, not only Karnataka state, but also all the states, the chief minister will always be the responsible place, and then they are having the most powerful place in the state. And the many other functions, like he has the power to dissolve the legislative assembly. Dear students, this is very important. The chief minister is having the power to dissolve the legislative assembly before the expiry of its term. Dear students, what is the term of office of legislative assembly? As I told you, 5 years. Got it? 5 years is the term of office of legislative assembly or Vidhana Sabha. Got it? Whereas the Vidhana Parishad, what is the term of office of Vidhana Parishad? That is 6 years. This cannot be dissolved. Vidhana Parishad or legislative council cannot be dissolved, but whereas Vidhana Sabha or legislative assembly can be dissolved. See what is the procedure of dissolving the Vidhana Sabha or legislative assembly? See, who dissolved Vidhana Sabha or legislative assembly? Yes, in the state, a governor. Dear student, governor is having the power to dissolve the legislative assembly before the completion of its term, 5 years. So what is the procedure? The governor must receive the suggestion of the chief minister. Here, very important power of one of the very important powers of the chief minister in the state. See, when the chief minister gives the direction to the governor to dissolve or dismiss the legislative assembly, then the governor will dismiss or dissolve the Vidhana Sabha or legislative assembly. So, in the matter of Vidhana Sabha's dissolving time, the chief minister's recommendation is the important suggestion to the governor. Isn't it? He is having the power to dissolve the legislative assembly before the expiry of its term. Then he acts as the link between the governor and the council of ministers. Dear student, chief minister acts as the link between the governor to the top and council of ministers in the bottom. So here, chief minister places in between governor and the council of ministers and acts as the link between governor and the chief ministers. So chief ministers will always play the very decisive role in the matter of administration of the whole state. He acts as the link between the governor and council of ministers. Got it? And then he acts as an advisor to the governor with regard to nomination to many posts. Dear student, while the governor nominating many posts in the state, especially the higher positions in the state, in the matter of this position, the chief minister acts as very important advisor to the governor in the matter of appointing of many important or higher positions in the state government. So, these are the important aspects of the chief minister and functions, powers and very important aspects of the chief minister. Got it? About the chief minister, council of ministers and powers and functions of a council of ministers and powers and functions of chief ministers. I hope that you understood very well about all these aspects what we have discussed till now, and I also hope that you will write all the answers for all the questions which are provided in the exercise part of the last page of the lesson, the state government. Okay, so dear students, listen carefully. The question which are provided at the last page of the state government will your today's homework, and you should write all the question and answer to the questions which are provided at the last page of the lesson chief ministers and put it in the WhatsApp group. So this is today's homework. I hope that once again you understood the whole lesson very well, and listen carefully, watch this video more and more and try to comprehend the meanings. Go through your textbook. If you have any doubt, text me or call me. I will clarify your doubts. Got it? Then the remaining things will be discussed in the next class. Then Dear students, subscribe this channel more and more. Okay, once again, thank you so much. Be happy and be healthy. Thank you so much.